So today would be the 20th Sunday in Ordinary Time, but it's not. It's the solemnity of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. It's not a holy day of obligation this year, so we had the sort of unusual liturgical option of celebrating it 2 days in a row. So this is the same Mass as yesterday. And so we celebrate the solemnity in these 2 days, a time to kind of go deeper with it. And I think probably at this point, we all know kind of the basic theology of the Assumption. Mary's conceived without sin by the grace of Jesus dying on the cross, applied to her conception outside of time. If you're infinite and omnipotent, you can do things like that. And if you're not subject to sin, you're not subject to death, ergo the Assumption. And I think we can know like all the theology and all of that stuff, but not actually get at the deeper reality of the Blessed Virgin. So here's what I really want us to think about this year. Mary is alive right now. Sometimes it's easy to forget that. You know, we see statues and we see windows, and we have beautiful statues and beautiful windows and all of that, and we can kind of like rattle through the rosary while we're thinking about 5 other things, you know, that we're going to do next. And without meaning to, Mary can start to feel like just a religious image rather than a living person. And folks tend to kind of fall off on one end of the spectrum. On one, they totally ignore her, like many of our non-Catholic Christian brothers and sisters, or they treat her like she's divine. And both are grave, grave errors. She's neither of those things. She's a real human woman. She has a real human body and a real human immaculate heart that beats with love for us and for Jesus. And right now, she's alive in heaven, blood pumping through that heart, breathing air. From the cross, we know what our Lord did. He looks at John, but he actually looks at all of us and says, "Behold your mother." And in saying that, he didn't just give us like a nice symbol. See, this is the thing we can kind of fall into. It's like too symbolic. He gave us a real living mother, our own mother. Not in like a detached, overly pious kind of way, but in like a real, tangible, moment by moment, day by day kind of way. We see what kind of mother she is here when she's interacting with Elizabeth. She learns that Elizabeth is pregnant. She's pregnant herself, gets up and goes to her. Ladies, a lot of you know how hard the first trimester is. She's in that trimester. She goes on this journey. She enters their home. She greets her, and she stays for 3 months. Usually the most difficult part of a pregnancy. She stays there 3 months and serves her. That's the real Mary. She notices, she comes close, and she stays, and she brings Jesus with her. She never does anything just for her own self, her own attention. And the tenderness that she brings to each one of us is personal. We talked about this a little bit when we talked about the Sacred Heart. If you're God and you have infinite power, there's no reason to do anything that's general. Like you have the bandwidth to do every single thing that you do specifically, uniquely, and infinitely. And that's how he acts, and that's how he behaves. And sometimes we forget that because we just kind of default to an amalgamation of various images and ideas in our heads, and we hold those in our head, and we talk to that in our head, and we forget that the real God is living right here in us, around us, not shorting us in a general way, but staring right at us with a gaze of love. He shares that infinite power with the Blessed Virgin Mary. And so she can come to us in a way that is so tender and so personal and so real, it can just heal 1,000 wounds in our hearts. So here's the deal. If we don't know her that way, didn't grow up with that kind of idea, just kind of wrote Marian prayers, and those are great. Absolutely, say those prayers. Please don't stop saying those prayers. Those are great prayers. But never thought about actually getting to know her. That's okay. We just start like if we wanted to get to know anybody else. We just start spending time with her. Just start talking to her with some kind of regularity, preferably on like a daily basis. And we build that relationship through conversation. And eventually we make it explicit. Mary, I want to know you. I don't think this is just like some sort of necessary thing in the Catholic pie that I got to be a part of. Like, I personally want to know you. I want you to be a part of my life. Oh, she'll come. She'll come. Like a crying baby on the ground, how could a mother not go? She'll come. And it's a beautiful thing for us because knowing her in this way, this personal, intimate way, the real her, St. Louis de Montfort teaches that is the surest and shortest way to get to Jesus. She never comes alone, always comes as a pair. And with St. Joseph, comes as a family, the kind of family that our hearts are made to long for. Real, human, patient, kind, attentive, always happy when we want to be with them. No matter how much or how little that time is, overjoyed that we would want to be in their presence. This is the spiritual space that grows intimacy with Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. It's not always groveling at their feet. Most of it is just being held by them. That's the spiritual space we want to enter into. Mary is real. She's alive. She's listening. Hears everything that we say to her. And when we invite her into our lives in this way, she does what she has always done for Jesus, for any of the people that she knew on earth, and now vivified by the infinite power of God. She comes close to us. She stays with us. And she brings Jesus to us.